Can you believe iStart, a fan war, premiered 15 years ago? That's messed up. This special 1-hour episode of iCarly premiered in season 4 back in 2010, just 2 months after Lady Gaga wore her famous meat dress on the red carpet. And much like the meat on that succulent dress, I can feel my own flesh slowly decaying as the years tick by. Unlike other episodes of iCarly, which are remembered for their funny jokes and crazy plots, this episode is remembered for pissing a lot of people off. And a big reason why had to do with the marketing.
Who belongs together? Is it Carly and Freddie? Or is it Sam and Freddie? And in a brand new iCarly movie, you'll finally get the answer.
Yeah, that's straight up false advertising. And I'm sorry, but I can't let Nickelodeon get away with this. So I'm gonna save you 1 hour of your life right goddamn now. He doesn't end up with either one of them in this episode. He doesn't. It's not a thing. And I don't really care if Freddie dates either one of them, but explicitly promising in the promo that Freddie will choose between Carly or Sam, and then the episode having nothing to do with that is just downright offensive. At this point in the series, Freddie has been romantically involved with both Carly and Sam at different points. So lots of fans were invested in the whole romance plot, and they were all excited to see which girl he would finally choose. But the episode does not even attempt to answer this claim in any way. In fact, I'm pretty sure whoever made that promo had never seen the episode. It sure doesn't seem like it, but hey, a little fraudulent advertising is no big deal, as long as the episode is still funny and entertaining, right? And surely, a special length episode full of guest stars and cameos has got to be pretty banger. So guys, with all the drama surrounding this hour-long special, it's definitely time to take a look back and see if the angry fans were just being crybabies, or if they had every right to be butthurt. As always, if you like this video, consider leaving a like and maybe even subscribe. It would really help the channel grow and mean the world to me. Also, if you have any other episodes or shows you want me to cover, let me know down in the comments. All right, let's dive in. Carly, Sam, and Freddie meet in school, and a cute boy walks down the stairs with his hair literally blowing in the wind from a fan that Gibby was showing off to some chicks. And honestly, the girls seem into it. Adam, the cute boy, approaches the main cast. Carly fumbles over her words, and Adam ends up walking off disgusted and horrified. Cue the theme song, and no lie, that was a lame-ass cold open to a 47-minute episode. Nothing happened. Bernie, Sako's cousin, is blowtorching a pickle for an iCarly segment, and the girls announce they're going to Webicon next weekend. They're even going to host their very own Q&A panel and invite their fans to stop by. Later, Carly and Freddie are chilling in her room when Adam video chats her. He says he watched her on iCarly tonight and that the pickle shit was hilarious. He then sees that Freddie is in Carly's room and is kind of sussed out. So Carly tells Freddie to get the hell out of there, and like a good boy, he listens. Adam says he's been poking around on forums online and saw a bunch of message boards about people wanting her and Freddie to date. And Carly explains,
the Creddies are just like iCarly super fans who want me and Freddie to get together. And then there are the Seddie fans who want Sam and Freddie to get together.
She tells him she's definitely not dating Freddie, and he then asks her on a date this Saturday.
I was wondering if maybe you would want to catch a movie or something this Saturday.
Okay, he just said he saw her on iCarly earlier tonight. They had a whole ass minute-long segment about how they're going to Webicon this weekend.
Next weekend, iCarly's going to Webicon!
So why is he asking her on a date when he just saw her announce that she'd be busy this weekend? What? Later on, Spencer is designing a stew for a World of Warlords costume competition that'll be going on at Webicon the same time as the iCarly Q&A booth. Spencer and Freddie then yap about the lore of this stupid made-up game for upwards of 2 minutes straight. Who cares? The gang makes it to the Webicon Awards, and when they arrive, they're in a special VIP roped off section. Stacy Dilson from Zoe 101, along with other fans, pull Freddie into the crowd, and bro is probably getting his balls fondled right now, to be honest. Sam dives into the crowd and pulls Freddie out, which I guess is the first and probably only Seddie moment of the episode. But Freddie decides he didn't want to be saved and was into getting his balls fondled, so he dives back into the crowd, willingly this time. Spencer sees what happens and pokes his staff into the crowd to help get Freddie out. And to be honest, if Freddie wants to be sexually assaulted willingly, that's his choice. Just let him do it. Someone in the crowd ends up taking Spencer's staff and throws it directly into his cock and balls. Spencer has finally had enough of this shit and heads off to the costume contest. Adam then pops up and surprises Carly. Alright, let's reel it back in for a second here. How in God's green creation did Adam get into the goddamn roped off VIP iCarly section? Carly didn't know he was coming, so he didn't get any special tickets. He hasn't even been on a single date with her yet, so they don't even have any pictures together, I would guess. What kind of bum-ass security guard let this guy through the gate? What the hell? Also, this is massive stalker behavior right off the bat. Carly ends up thinking it's cute that Adam somehow stalked his way into the VIP section, and that's that. Gibby gets the C-plot for this episode, and I'm just gonna lay it all out there right now to get it over with, because it adds absolutely nothing to the story at all. His senile grandpa is supposed to be driving him and Guppy to Webicon, but bro is stuck at the Inside Out Burger drive-thru for the entire episode trying to order some soup when they don't even sell soup in the first place. And an Inside Out Burger is actually what Drake says he's craving in the show Drake and Josh episode Treehouse.
I've never been this hungry. I wish I had an Inside Out Burger right now.
But yeah, Gibby, Guppy, and his senile grandfather basically spend the entire episode in the drive-thru of the Inside Out Burger. By the end of their C-plot, the grandfather is so fed up that he actually drags the employee out of the drive-thru window with his car, presumably killing him, I'm not sure. We don't really get an update on that guy, he could be dead. Everyone is fawning over Spencer at the costume contest until Jack Black shows up in a competing costume. At the iCarly Q&A panel, Stacy Dilson, Craig and Eric, and Gavin all show up, which is dope as hell. A small but funny detail, only Gavin gets an applause from the live studio audience. Craig and Eric and Stacy Dilson do not get an applause when they first appear on screen.
I can't believe you made me wait in line for 2 hours to see iCarly.
You take a seat as soon as you...
The Q&A begins and the crowd asks a bunch of useless questions. Stacy even asks a question and references that her lisp has returned shortly after being cured.
I'd like to begin by apologizing for my speech issues. I was cured for a short time, but then suffered a relapse.
Stacy Dilson was a Zoe 101 character who was famous for having a lisp. She eventually gets hit by a car in the second to last episode of the series, which causes her to lose her lisp. So I guess this episode completely discredits that scene from Zoe 101 and makes it basically pointless. Stacy says she's a Creddie shipper, and this causes the Seddie side of the room to riot instantly. Stacy asks Carly and Freddie if they're dating, and Carly says they are not, but the crowd doesn't believe her.
Respectfully, I disagree.
Quick sidebar. The crowd says that it's clear from the web show that Carly and Freddie should be together. Yet Freddie is barely ever featured in the web show. So when is the audience getting to see Carly and Freddie together that's making them feel so strongly about them being shipped together? For that matter, you could say the same thing about Freddie and Sam. It's all a bit weird. Sam ends up telling the crowd that Carly and Freddie are deeply in love, and it starts an all-out riot and causes Adam to storm out angrily. Carly can't get Adam to come back, so Sam heads out to go tell him the truth about Freddie and Carly. And back with Spencer and Jack Black, they're just circling around each other and yapping about flaws in each other's costumes. And Dan Warp can be seen on multiple t-shirts as well as on the wall in giant letters. Unacceptable. Back over at the Q&A, Craig asks a stupid-ass question about Carly and Freddie dating.
Is it difficult for you guys to work together considering the fact that you're dating each other?
and this is getting repetitious already. Craig and Eric then get kicked out for being annoying, which I feel like everyone in the crowd should be kicked out then at that point. Back at the costume contest, they're still yapping about nothing at all. They start singing out of nowhere, and I'm sure it was in Jack Black's contract that he had to sing. It's just a huge waste of time. Sam comes back to the Q&A panel with Adam bound by an extension cord. Bro's tied up like a Thanksgiving turkey about to be stuffed. Sam then announces to the crowd that she was lying when she said Carly and Freddie were in love. The crowd thinks this means that Freddie is dating Sam, and they begin to riot yet again. And this has got to be the third or fourth time they've rioted already. Someone chucks an entire chair at Carly's head, and that's kind of funny. They quiet the crowd down again, and Carly says that no one is dating anyone. The crowd says that she's lying, and they begin to riot yet again. And back at the costume contest, Spencer and Jack Black are still fighting back and forth in the same circle where they started. And this shit is so boring and repetitive, I'm going numb. At the Q&A, the crowd is still fighting. And at this point, even the main characters look tired of this boring ass plot. They cut back again to the costume contest to remind us that Spencer and Jack Black are in fact still fighting. Jack Black throws a fucking cement chunk at Spencer's face, so Spencer sprays Jack Black with some chlorine gas. Pretty much death, right? They need to evacuate the convention hall right now. Then after all that bullshit, they just go back to fighting again. Cut to the Q&A crowd, still fighting as well, and security brings out a flare gun. Sam snatches it and shoots off 3 flares, but only 2 go off. Gavin then picks up the 3rd flare, and it fucking explodes in his hand, sending him flying through the wall. And canonically, Gavin is never seen again. He is in fact dead. They killed Gavin. And to be honest, that actually pisses me off. Like, I'm not happy about it. The iCarly crew moves right along despite the death that just happened right in front of their eyes, and Carly gives a preachy ass, boring ass message to the crowd that iCarly isn't about who's dating who, it's about sharing an apple with a friend and sharing a laugh. Okay. She then says the only person she wants to be dating is Adam, then points him out in the crowd. The crowd thinks Adam took Carly away from Freddie and begins to mercilessly beat him to death while he's still tied up with the extension cord. Carly, Sam, and Freddie are sick and tired of this stupid plot and end up leaving, ditching Adam and leaving him for dead. On their way out of Webicon, the crew heads to pick up Spencer, who is still, you guessed it, fighting with Jack Black. Jack Black ends up taking Carly hostage. She bites his thumb and rips off his necklace, killing him slowly, within the LARPing universe, of course. Jack Black then sings another song to waste a few more minutes of my life and dies on the floor. Carly forces Spencer to leave because she's clearly over this episode, and everyone that was watching the battle goes about their day, walking over Jack Black's fake dead body. Gibby then shows up to Webicon just as everyone leaves, and that's it. That's the note they leave us on. There was absolutely no reason for this episode to be an hour-long special. Nothing happened in the plot, not a damn thing, to justify the extra long runtime. And honestly, when compared to other episodes that do have an interesting plot, like I Saved Your Life, which I complained should have been longer, it makes me even more pissed. We spend a total of 14 minutes of screen time in the claustrophobic room of rabid fans doing the iCarly Q&A panel, which normally wouldn't be an issue, except nothing happens at the Q&A panel. In every single one of those scenes, all that happens is a random fan says Freddie belongs with Carly, or Freddie belongs with Sam. Then one of the kids says we're not dating each other, prompting a different random fan to say some variation of you lie, and then the crowd starts beating the shit out of each other. Rinse and repeat for 14 minutes. Stacy Dilson from Zoe 101 gets 15 seconds of screen time, and so do Craig, Eric, and Gavin from Drake and Josh before Gavin fucking dies. But even though it's cool to see those cameos, it's not enough to make the Q&A scenes interesting or entertaining in the slightest. It's so repetitive. I mean, come on. Even the cast themselves looks visibly bored and tired of this bullshit. And every time the episode cuts away from the boring-ass, never-ending Q&A scene, you'd think that would be some relief, but no. It just cuts to an equally pointless, boring, never-ending scene of Spencer and Jack Black yapping about some fake video game and its fake lore that no one cares about, in the same location the entire time, never changing, never progressing, never getting me to even crack a smile. For an entire 12 minutes and 4 seconds of screen time, Jack Black and Spencer fight in the lamest way possible, and quite frankly, it's not funny. It's making me feel just as claustrophobic as the Q&A scene. It's unacceptable. And I get they wanted to show off Jack Black for as much time as they could, but he feels totally wasted in these scenes. He doesn't do anything special or funny or interesting. He could have been replaced by any random unnamed actor and it would not have made a difference. And that's a damn shame, especially because he starred alongside Miranda Cosgrove in School of Rock, which was her first major role, and the two had great chemistry together as actors. So I would have loved to see them interact more instead of just getting in a nerd dick-swinging contest with Spencer over a fake video game the entire time. Total missed opportunity for such a major guest star, and it really makes me upset. And genuinely, a complete waste of 12 minutes and 4 seconds of my life that I will never get back. The only funny part of the entire 12 minutes was the 5 short seconds when Spencer sprays Jack Black with chlorine gas. One laugh. It's not good when the laugh track laughs 20 more times than the actual viewer. This episode has a 47-minute runtime, and dedicating 26 of those minutes, an actual majority of the episode, to 2 scenes that aren't funny, aren't relevant to the Sam vs. Carly love triangle that was advertised, and don't progress the plot in any meaningful way, is just downright disgraceful. The writers don't even pretend that they're going to answer the questions raised in the promo. Like, it's not even teased or hinted at, just straight up absent from the plot altogether. And by the end of the special, every single main character is exactly where they started, with no meaningful plot of any kind taking place during this episode. And that just leaves you feeling like this episode was just a massive waste of time. And finally, Carly's speech to the rabid crowd at the end of the episode, where she says iCarly isn't about romance, it's about comedy and having a silly old time, comes across as really preachy, because it's clearly meant to be Dan Schneider and the iCarly producers talking to the real audience through Carly, essentially scolding people and shaming them for being too obsessed with the Team Creddie or Team Seddie thing. But this comes off as really annoying and unearned, when Dan Schneider is the one who wrote those plots into the show in the first place. They never had to give Sam that first kiss plotline with Freddie. They didn't have to make Freddie have a crush on Carly from the very beginning of the show, but they did, by choice. And yet they have the balls to wag their greasy fingers at people for getting invested in these plot lines that they wrote. Even if this episode was cut down to the normal 22-minute runtime it deserved, it would still be a heaping pile of boring trash, a nothing burger. The gang goes to Webicon, argues with a bunch of rabid fans, then goes back home. That's what this plot boils down to, and what can be said in one single sentence does not need to be stretched out to a 47-minute special. But enough of me yapping. What do you guys think? Do you remember being one of the many pissed off fans watching this one back in the day? Or did you miss this one when it first premiered? Let me know in the comments, and let's kick it. I'd like to give a smoky, steamy, sweaty, wet shout out to the channel members and Patreon members. Every night as I lie in bed, I dream of you all as I rest my head. To the channel and Patreon members, I cannot thank you enough. I might actually slam my head into the wall repeatedly from how overwhelmed I feel with joy and love by your support. If you stuck around this long, maybe consider subscribing and checking out my other videos. All right, thanks for listening.